What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles in the Open Great League with Shadow Excadrill. Now typically you won't see Excadrill in the Open Great or Ultra League due to its lack of bulk, which might then surprise you that Shadow Excadrill is actually rated much higher than the regular version. Before we get into the battles, I want to mention a few things. So firstly, PvPoke ranks Shadow Excadrill as the second best closer in the entire league, but I'm using it in the lead which is ranked all the way down in the 200s, so obviously a very poor choice by me, but you will see a lot of Excadrill's work came in that closing scenario, so if you do want to use it, probably just use it as the closer. Also, I'm running an ABC style team, which I'm not really used to. You guys know I love to run ABB style teams with a bit of a theme, but for this video I just wanted to try out Horlucha because of the Aerial Ace buff. I will say it was pretty decent on day one, but I played half these battles after the Wooper Community Day, and Clodsire absolutely shut this thing down and made it really difficult to use, so do just bear that in mind. But with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What's the most underrated shadow Pokemon that got released from the recent Team Rocket event? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle lead, Shadow Excadrill into Bastiodon, so the dream lead for the Excadrill. The opponent going to safe swap into Shadow Alola Ninetales, Running Charm. Now this should be a good matchup, but in the 2-shield scenario, they can just double shield and fully charm farm us down, which is not going to be ideal. We're going to go for Rock Slide number 2, then I'm actually going to have to swap into my Horlucha. Now this is a matchup where Poison Jam is actually quite handy, although, I mean, I guess we could have just made it to the Flying Press a bit sooner, Running Wing Attack, but we take out the Alola Ninetales, they come back in with the Bastiodon, but I don't think their switch lock is going to be up yet, so we come in with very minimal health and we make it to the drill run in time. And how much damage does it do? It one-shots the Bastiodon. They've got Charizard in the back, we've got 2 shields and a Shadow Sableye. We're looking to be in a very good position there, despite being very uncomfortable for most of that battle here. But now we can go for the Power Gem, and this is obviously going to be one-shotting a Charizard from full health, from half health, doesn't matter. We take out the Charizard and we take that game. Into the next game, we see Excadrill into Trevenant, so not the best matchup. We're going to safe swap into our Horlucha here, and the opponent's going to respond with a Lantern. So this is kind of what I was hoping for, going straight for a Flying Press, and this will do a ton of damage if they let it go through. They actually shield it, so I'm fine with that. We're going to let Horlucha go down. Unfortunately, Surf won't quite take us out from this range, but they only get 2 extra Sparks in before farming us down, so that's not too bad. We've got a shield advantage as well, and the Sparks are going to be heavily resisted by the Excadrill. Obviously, a Surf would do a ton of damage, possibly even take us out, I don't know, but we're going to definitely shield that up, farm to nearly 100 energy, go for a drill run, and this will easily take out the Lantern from this range. So the opponent lets it go through, they come in with Scrafty, we go for another drill run. We need this to connect because we've got a Shadow Sableye in the back. It does connect, and now here you can see obviously without return all our charge moves are resisted. Foul Play is double resisted, Power Gem single resisted and non-stab, but because of the drill run damage we put them into range with a few Shadow Claws that Foul Play will take them out, so they let the Scrafty go down. We've got Foul Play number 2 locked and loaded, ready to throw into the Trevenant. Foul Play grabs the final shield, and we get a few Shadow Claws off before getting farmed down, and now are they in range where a Rock Slide will take them out. Rock Slide, non-stab here, not the best charge move, but let's see, we're going to go for the Rock Slide. Does this take out the Trevenant? No, they barely live, but they weren't at the charge move, so I'm able to Mudshot, farm them down, and take that game. Into the next game, we see Sandslash in the lead here, so this is a pretty decent matchup for us. The opponent safe swaps into Pelipper, but they go for one fast move before swapping out, so we can go for the Rock Slide straight away, and this will be grabbing an immediate shield from the Pelipper. The opponent going to overfarm here, go for the charge move. We're going to shield up the Weather Ball, that probably takes us out as well. We go for a Rock Slide just before they make it to Weather Ball number 2. Rock Slide grabs the final shield from the opponent and they make it to another Weather Ball, but because they did swap after one fast move, we can overfarm by 1, go for the CMP tie, which the Shadow Excadrill does win. Rock Slide takes out the Pelipper, and the opponent is going to wait out the switch clock before coming back in with the Alolan Sandslash, and we make it to the Drill Run in time, and Drill Run will be one-shotting the Sandslash. They've got a Shadow Gligar in the back, and the opponent doesn't even wait to see what I had. They just concede the match damage there after the incredible performance from the Shadow Excadrill. Now into the next game, really good lead for us, really good save swap for us as well, as we swap into our Shadow Sableye to just fully hard counter this opponent so far. They go for an Ice Punch, doesn't do too much damage. We should be farming to the back-to-back moves here, throwing on the CMP tie, and this will be enough damage after the Shadow Claw damage to take out the Medicham. The opponent can come back in with the Carbink and get a very nice farm down, but we will make it to a Power Gem. Now Power Gem, at least it isn't resisted like a return would be from a regular Sableye, so it does some decent damage there. It should put them into Drill Run range, but we are going to go for a Drill Run here into the Toxicroak coming in. Maybe I should have swapped out there because we took a ton of damage. You can see Excadrill is nearly dead already. And actually, if they make it to a Moonblast on their Carbink, we're just going to lose here. So we go for the Aerial Ace, grab a shield there. We are going to shield as well. The opponent baits with a Mud Bomb. Really unfortunate. And now they will be able to go for a Sludge Bomb. I have to shield this up. Sludge Bomb would take us out from this range. And now all shields are down. It's not looking too good for us. The opponent can come in with their Carbink and then just fully farm us down here. Flying Press, going to do a lot of damage to most Pokemon, but Carbink isn't one of those Pokemon. We swap into Excadrill, but they're already at a charge move. If this is the Moonblast, which it is, it just takes out the Excadrill, and unfortunately, even though we hard countered the opponent throughout the majority of the battle there, they're able to take that game. So you can see the lack of bulk really costs us in that battle. If we lived the Moonblast on our Excadrill, we would have been fine. But into the next game here, I didn't actually see what they led with because I was still talking about the previous game. But they save swap into Azumarill when we're massively ahead on energy. So we go for the back-to-back drill runs. Each drill run does about 50% of their health, so we force a shield up against Azumarill, which is a massive core breaker for the entire team. So now we're going to go for the Poison Jab farm down. It doesn't look like we're getting there, unfortunately, so I'm going to go for an Aerial Ace, and this will be taking out the Azu. They come in with a Trevenant, and this is still great for us. We can go for the Aerial Ace, number 2, and if the opponent lets this go through, it will nearly take out the Trevenant. They make it to a charge move. I can just safely let this move go through. Seed Bomb doesn't quite take us out. They come in with the Toxapex. They get the farm down, but it doesn't matter. We are triple resisting the Poison Jab damage here. We go for Drill Run number 1, and the opponent just lets the move go through. It nearly one-shots them. They go for a charge move. Doesn't really matter. The Mud Shot will go through, take out the Toxapex, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next game, we see Defense form Deoxys in the lead. So I'm going to save swap into my Hawlucha. Obviously, this is still a bad matchup, but we do at least resist the counter damage. So we go for a Flying Press, and if you're wondering why we go for Flying Press here, it's actually still slightly more energy efficient than the Aerial Ace, despite being resisted whilst the Aerial Ace is neutral. Aerial Ace did get a buff this season, but only a buff to the energy that it costs, not to the damage, so it still doesn't do too much damage, whereas Flying Press is one of the best charge moves in the game. Now here, we do actually lose the one shield scenario, but I don't mind. I get them very low. We can now come in with the Sableye. Our switch clock is up. They have probably banked a charge move there before swapping into their Shadow Gligar. We go for the Foul Play. It does quite a lot of damage. We can't really come in with the Excadrill because we won't be able to Mud Shot farm them down. So instead, I stay in. They go for an Aerial Ace straight away, but that allows me to fully farm them down with the Shadow Claws. And now at this point, I think they're at a charge move. So instead of throwing my energy into their Deoxys, I swap, I catch the move onto my Excadrill. Psycho Boost is resisted damage. They now debuff their counter damage as well. We should live another charge move, go for the full Mud Shot farm down, and the opponent's actually going to swap into Swampert. They're nearly able to snipe me, but they're not able to do so, and they let the Drill Run go through, which does huge damage, puts them into range where I can Shadow Claw, farm down the Swampert, Shadow Claw, farm down the Deoxys, and I'm able to take that game. So the opponent obviously underestimated the damage from that Shadow Excadrill on this Swampert. But into the next game, we see Azumarill in the lead. Rough lead matchup. The opponent also going to respond with Altaria. Not great, but we are up on energy. So once again here, it is resisted, but Flying Press is going to do slightly more damage than the Aerial Ace. So we go for the Flying Press, and a second Flying Press gets them incredibly low already. And we will make it to a third Flying Press just before they make it to the charge move or farm us down. And the opponent actually just fully sacrifices the Altaria. Honestly, I'd have probably preferred to grab a shield there because there's not a lot we can do up against this Azu. We do shield up the play rough here, and I should be able to make it to a Power Gem before they make it to the next charge move. I throw straight away. Maybe should have thrown on better timing there, as it doesn't quite take them out, and I think they're at a charge move as well, so I've got to be very careful about that. I can't really afford to have no shields for the Azumarill in the end game, so we go for the Drill Run there. We make it to Drill Run number 2 before the opponent throws KOs, which is massive for me because now I can probably call a bait here, or even if they do full send the Earthquake, it's not the worst case scenario. They do unfortunately full send the Earthquake, but now it's just a guessing game. Are we going to call the bait? We don't. They go for the rock slide and we shield it up. We need to make it 2 back-to-back foul plays, I do believe, but unfortunately they're already at another charge move. Earthquake takes out the Sableye, and unfortunately we do lose that game there. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game we see Lantern in the lead, so pretty good lead matchup for us. I'm not sure if in the zero shield scenario, if a drill run would take them out, but we do overfarm massively. The opponent also overfarming massively here. They go for a charge move just before we make it to the second drill run, so I'm going to shield up the Surf, go for an overfarm, but the opponent swaps. They try to catch the next move onto their Skarmory, and you can see that Rock Slide is going to do about half of their health. A second Rock Slide will basically KO from this range, and the opponent lets it go through, so we just fully take them out there. They come back in with the Lantern. They are now slightly ahead on energy, but I can shield this up and I will be able to make it back to the next drill run here before they make it to the next Surf, and we go for the drill run. I think they're one away from the next Surf, so I will be swapping into my Sableye, catching the move here onto my Sableye. It is just going to be a Surf. Surf not going to do too much damage up against the Sableye. The opponent banks some energy and they come in with a Spinder, which is incredibly spicy from the opponent, so props to them for that. But we go for the foul play, dealing big damage. The opponent just overfarming. I'm not sure what they're going for. I guess they probably had to commit to a dig, as an Icy Wind wouldn't take us out, but unfortunately for them we can just fully Shadow Claw, farm down the rest of the team, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game we see a Sableye in the lead, so we're going to go for a drill run straight away, and then I'm going to swap immediately, trying to catch a foul play onto my Hawlucha. It's quite unlikely that they do throw straight away, but I tried it anyways, and now the opponent can go for a charge move. They do have enough for a return, but they bait with the foul play, which is unfortunate, but they then go for the foul play anyways, so that's perfectly fine with me. Not sure why they didn't farm up to the potential return once again, but here we make it to a Flying Press. This won't do much damage. It is resisted, but once again it's resisted. Aerial Ace is neutral. It is slightly better than going for the Aerial Ace, and Flying Press doesn't quite take them out there. They can fully Shadow Claw farm me down. So we are going to come in with the Sableye. We're going to have to tank this charge move. I need to save one shield for my Excadrill. I don't know what they've got in the back. They come in with a low-end Sand Slash, so we go for a foul play, and this will be dealing very nice damage. It should put them into Mudshot farm down range. So we come in with the Excadrill. They've got Shadow Venusaur in the back. We make it to the drill run, and how much damage does it do? It one-shots the Shadow Venusaur, and we will be able to fully farm them down from this range. So we shield up the charge move, Ice Punch, get shielded, we go for the Mudshot, farm down, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next game we see Excadrill into another Carbink, so we lost to the last one even though we kind of hard countered the entire team. It looks like a pretty similar story here as the opponent swaps into Serperior. So I'm going to let the first move go through. I should be able to live an Aerial Ace fairly comfortably, not really at risk at them farming me down, and here I should have gone for the CMP tie, but because I don't, I allow them to get one extra Vine Whip in, and that allows them to get to a charge move, and now I have to use a shield, so massive mistake on my end. They come in with the Carbink and we're down a shield, so we actually lost when we hard countered the opponent when they didn't grab a shield advantage, so now it's even worse for us, and we're going to overfarm. We go for a charge move here. We're going to go for the drill run because I know up on energy and up a shield, our Sableye isn't going to be able to do much up against that Venusaur, so we go for the back-to-back drill runs here. Maybe I should just fully stay in and then... But here I'm going to swap, I catch the move. I kind of need this to just fully one-shot us, and it doesn't. They get off enough energy to make it to another charge move. I know Carbink is at a charge move here, so I'm just going to let this move go through. Frenzy Plant will be taking us out, and once again, even though I kind of had a very strong team up against that Carbink lead there, we end up losing yet another game, and that is just due to the lack of bulk on the Excadrill. But into the next game here, and we see a Shadow Gramble in the lead. Once again, not a great matchup in the 2-shield scenario, as they can just double shield and fully farm us down, which is not ideal in the slightest. We go for second drill run. Obviously they're going to double shield here, and it's not looking great. We've got 2 Pokemon in the back that are very weak to charm, but we do at least have that poison jab damage, so we will be able to farm down the Gramble. They get us incredibly low, and they're going to come in with a Medicham. I'm going to bank the energy, come in with my Sableye, and they've got Bastiodon in the back. Now this is actually not so bad. We've got quite a significant energy advantage here. We go for the foul play. play, we should be able to take them out in 3 foul plays. But what I'm going to do is actually farm to the back-to-back foul plays each time I throw them. So we're going to shield here. They go for the Stone Edge. We go for the next foul play. Okay, I wasn't at the back-to-back, but it doesn't matter. This won't take them out. But now I need to make it to the back-to-back up against the Bastiodon before they make it to the Smackdown, farm down, or potentially make it to a Stone Edge. But we do get there in time. Foul play takes out the Bastiodon, and we have another foul play loaded to throw into the Medicham, and this will just put them into Aerial Ace range for the Hawlucha. So we go for the Aerial Ace straight away as we come in. They've got a charge move, but we win the CMP tie, and we're able to take out the Medicham and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Defense form Deoxys in the lead once again. So once again, Core breaks my team, but I say swap into Hawlucha, and this actually isn't that bad of a matchup. We're going to let this move go through, especially when they're running Snarl, of course, because we can live an Aerial Ace, and we can go for the Flying Press, and this is going to do quite a lot of damage to the Mandibuzz. They actually shield the first one. We go for the second one, throwing on the CMP tie with this Mandibuzz, and the opponent is going to let the second one go through. I think maybe if we double shield, we could just Poison Jab, farm them down, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm actually just going to take the shield advantage, come back in with my Shadow Excadrill, and we are going to have to let the first move go through here. Well, I mean, we probably could shield just because Deoxys isn't going to do any damage with its charge moves up against the Excadrill, but instead, I'm just going to let that go through, go for a Rock Slide just before they make it to the Aerial Ace, taking out the Mandibuzz, and we're instantly going to swap into our Shadow Sableye. The opponent is going to stay in with their Deoxys. I think they're just going to bank a ton of energy. They try to catch a move, but it doesn't really matter. They've got a Sableye of their own. We've got a massive energy advantage, and we've got a shield advantage as well, so we should be able to take this game here. All we've got to do is get to the back-to-back foul plays up against the Sableye. Actually, we're not quite there, but it doesn't matter. This foul play from this range will be taking out the Sableye. We're one away from the next foul play, and this is a Shadow Sableye. Foul play is going to take out the Deoxys from that range, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next game, we see Excadrill into a Shadow Gligar. So not the most comfortable lead matchup here. We're going to go straight for the Rock Slide, and the opponent makes a really nice catch onto their Lickitung. So this time, since we have chipped, we're going to come in straight with the Hawlucha, go for the Flying Press before they even get off a Body Slam. We don't want to give them any opportunity to flip this matchup, and we're able to take out the Lickitung. And let's see what the opponent wants to do. We are dry on energy. They've got a lot of energy. They don't overfarm by that much though, so I'm happy to let the Aerial Ace take out the Hawlucha. We can come back in with the Excadrill, or maybe come in with the Shadow Sableye. Let's see. We come in with the Excadrill, and the opponent is going to make it to a dig as we reach the Rock Slide. So I'm going to shield here. I'm going to overfarm in this matchup. The opponent comes in with Medicham, and this is perfect for me because we've got our Shadow Sableye to punish them. So they go for an Ice Punch here, and what I should be doing is throwing on the CMP tie, but instead, once again, I throw one fast move before they make it to the charge move, and it barely doesn't take them out. So once again, I get punished for not throwing on CMP. I should live this Ice Punch. I actually didn't realize the switch clock would be up straight away, so we nearly missed out on going for a foul play into the Gligar, but we do make it in time. We reach the back-to-back Rock Slides. I don't think a Rock Slide will take them out from this range, so I'm going to have to go for another back-to-back Rock Slide here. So we're going to shield this up. They probably can just take me out with an Aerial Ace at this point, so I need to shield. We go for the Rock Slide, but unfortunately it's a CMP tie, and Rock Slide barely doesn't take them out there, which is so unfortunate. But an Aerial Ace, even though it is resisted, will be taking out my Excadrill, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But once again, not throwing on the CMP tie has cost us in that game there, because we obviously win CMP. But into the next game, we see a Dugong in the lead. The opponent swaps into Medicham, and once again, it is so nice having Shadow Sableye on my team when so many people are just swapping into their Medicham. But here, we are not going to make the same mistake. We are going to go for the CMP tie, and this time, we should put them into range where this foul play takes out the Medicham, and the opponent probably going to come back in with their Dugong. So I'm actually going to go for a Power Gem. Most people don't go up against Shadow Sableye, so they probably don't expect the massive damage coming from the Power Gem. So now I can just let this move go through. Icy Wind takes us out. They swap into a Gligar, so we're going to go straight for the Rock Slide, and Rock Slide is going to do about 35-40% of their health. We make it to a second Rock Slide, and this should be threatening a shield from this point. So we do grab that shield from the opponent. We've got 2 shields remaining, so I'm going to shield once. I will be able to make it to a Rock Slide before they make it to the next charge move, and at that point, I'm probably just going to let the Excadrill go down. I think we threw on the CMP tie there, so Rock Slide grabs the final shield from the opponent, and at this point, I should be able to just sweep the game with my Hawlucha. So Aerial Ace takes out the Excadrill. We come in with the Hawlucha. They're going to outpace us to this first charge move. Now, all we have to to do is make sure the opponent doesn't catch the flying press onto their dugong. They go for the catch there. We can just bank 2 flying presses, go for the first one, and this will obviously take out the dugong from this range, and the second flying press is going to be enough damage once again, even though it is resisted, to take out the Gligar, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next game, we see Excadrill into Shadow Nidoqueen, so a great lead matchup for us. The opponent is going to swap into their Licky Tongue now. We're going to go for a Drill Run straight away. We're going to chip and then potentially try and catch a Power Whip onto my Hawlucha here. So we're going to overfarm. We try to catch, but the opponent throws just before we make it to the charge move. So very good timing. They do full send the Power Whip, so honestly, probably could have overfarmed a lot more here, but we're taking quite a lot of damage from these licks, so I go for the Drill Run. They actually just let the Licky Tongue go down. I wasn't expecting that, but the opponent's going to come in with their Medicham, so we swap into our Shadow Sableye. I know they should be able to go for an Ice Punch, and then their Switch Clock is probably up at this point, so they're going to swap back into the Nidoqueen, but it doesn't matter. This is still a positive matchup for the Shadow Sableye, so we go for a Foul Play. Foul Play, going to be grabbing a shield from the opponent, and they will make it to a charge move. This should just be a Poison Fang though, so I will be able to live it on my Sableye, make it to a Foul Play, and here I'm actually going to undercharge this just a little bit, go for a Great. This puts them into range, but I can come in with my Excadrill, go for the Drill Run, bank it, and then come in and get an energy advantage on my Hawlucha, and now we should be looking very good up against the Medicham. We can go straight for the Aerial Ace. It looks like the opponent started to lag there, or maybe they've given up, I'm not sure. No, it looks like they're still continuing to play, but we make it to a second Aerial Ace before they can make it to the back-to-back Ice Punches, and Aerial Ace number 2 will be enough damage after this lag to take out the Medicham, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next game, and I'm actually battling someone on my friends list, Darksider Pokemon, who is running Guzzlord in the lead. They say swap into Jellicent, so we respond with our Shadow Sableye, and I will be able to go for Foul Play here. I thought they'd throw straight away, so they actually do overfarm in this matchup, and that allows them to get a full Hex in for free as I threw on alignment. We should be able to live any charge move they throw. They go for Surf, we let that go through. They do barely outpace me to the next charge move. Well, I mean, not barely, but they throw here just before we make it to the next Foul Play. I'm not going to take any risks, just go for the Foul Play straight away, taking out the Jellicent, and they come back in with the Guzzlord. Now, we have 2 fairly decent responses here, but not when they've got energy, so we go for the Drill Run. I thought they'd throw on CMP once again, so once again, they get a full extra Dragon Tail in for free, and they've got Clodsire in the back, so this unfortunately is going to be a very, very bad matchup for the Hawlucha, as they can just land one Sludge Bomb, and you're going to see they can just fully Poison Sting, farm me all the way down. Flying Press just does so little damage. These Poison Jabs are dealing basically nothing to the Clodsire. We make it to another Flying Press, and we should be able to make it to a 3rd Flying Press, but it's just not going to matter, as they're going to come out with nearly 100 energy. If not, they've already got 100 energy here, so I have to shield this up. The opponent is going to go straight for the Earthquake, which we do correctly shield, but they can swap back into the Guzzlord. They banked a charge move. Brutal Swing nearly takes us out. That was insane damage, and they are able to just fully Dragon Tail farm me down and take that game. But GG's to Darksider Pokemon. And into the next game, we see a Shadow Gramble in the lead. So once again, not great for us. We can play out we can go for 2 draw-ons before they farm us down, but if they want to, they can double shield. They probably will double shield, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So we go for draw run number 2, grab the final shield from the opponent, and now we come in with our Hawlucha. We're going to have to shield here, although we do resist everything that they're typically going to throw. We're so low that we just need to shield anyways. They don't get the debuff, and the opponent is going to come in with another Shadow Charm user. They come in with a Alola Ninetales. Oh my gosh, what is this opponent running? Please don't be Triple Charm. We're going to go for the full Shadow Claw farm down. It is Triple Charm. What the heck is this? We're going to concede the match there, or just get farmed down. GG's to that opponent. Well, I would say GG's, but that was not a good game. So into the next game, we're going to see a Pelipper in the lead. We're going to go straight for the Rock Slide. We will win the CMP tie with our Shadow Excadrill, and then I will swap out of this matchup because they will be able to outpace me to the next Weather Ball. And what I don't want to do is risk potentially them not throwing the Weather Ball and then just going straight for a Hurricane. So we're going to swap into our Sableye, go for a Foul Play. We will make it just before they make it to the Hurricane, but they barely live that, which is really unfortunate. So I'm going to shield this up. There's no point in them baiting. They do full send the Hurricane. They come in with a Wall Rain, which I've not seen for quite a while. It's still fairly decent though, so I'm not sure why people don't use it. They go for an Icicle Spear, which we do live, and we commit to the Power Gem. And if they let this go through, it's going to do massive damage to the Shadow, to the regular Wall Rain, sorry. and we should be able to farm them down with just one fast move from either Pokemon. We come in with our Hawlucha, we're going to go for an Aerial Ace throwing just before they make it to the Shadow Ball, and I've got to be very careful. I could try and make a catch here, but I think there's no point. They don't overfarm by too much, so now I can just let this move go through. Shadow Ball takes me out, and now I can come in with my Excadrill, make it to the Rock Slide on the CMB tire, which once again we do win. Rock Slide takes out the Trevenant. I'm able to Mud Shot, farm down the Walrein just before they make it to the Icicle Spear, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent. Into the next game, we see another Guzzlord in the lead, so we've got to be careful about this matchup here. We are going to overfarm, go for a drill run, throwing just before they make it to a potential crunch or brutal swing. The opponent lets that go through. That does a lot of damage. I'm going to shield this up and hope that I can just fully farm them down. They do go for the crunch. They don't get the debuff once again, and we can get that farm down, although we're very low considering that was only resisted fast move damage that we were taking there. But we go for a foul play into the Machamp that comes in, and because they're a regular Machamp, not Shadow, they might be running a payback here, and they are. It takes out the Sableye from that range. But let's see what we can do. We come in with the Hawlucha, and they've got a Azumarill in the back, and this isn't actually that bad of a matchup since we are running Poison Jab, and Flying Press is going to do quite a lot of damage here. They go for an Ice Beam, so not ideal for us. We're going to go for the Flying Press, and we should be able to make it to a second Flying Press before they do make it to the next Ice Beam. So we go for Flying Press straight away. There should be 3 bubbles away from the next charge move. So what I'm going to do is go for 4 Poison Jabs, go for the Drill Run on the CMP tie here, and we should have just enough health to make it to a second drill run up against the Machamp, and this drill run will be enough damage to take out the Machamp, and I'm able to... Sorry, I just burped there. I'm able to take that game. But into the next game, we see Azumarill in the lead this time around, so we're going to say swap into Hawlucha. Possibly should swap into our Sableye up against Azumarill just because that is our worst matchup up against the Azu. But here we're going to go for an Aerial Ace into the Cofagrigus that comes in. They did give us quite a significant energy advantage. So now a second Aerial Ace boss, it won't take them out here. Should put them into range where we could potentially flip the matchup. So the opponent does use their shield, which I'm absolutely fine with. They do then go for a Dark Pulse, which doesn't do too much damage and actually allows them to fully Shadow Claw farm us down. So quite a smart play by the opponent there. They also save a little bit of energy by going for the Dark Pulse. We're going to let the Shadow Ball go through. That does big damage to us. And they come in with a Tropius, so we're going to go straight for a Power Gem. This is going to do quite a lot of damage here. It will easily put them into Rock Slide range. So now we come in with the Excadrill. We can safely shield this up as they go for a Leaf Blade, and we are going to go for a Rock Slide just before they make it to the next Leaf Blade, and this should be enough damage to take them out if they do let it go down, and they do exactly that. They come back in with the Azumarill, they throw on alignment, so that's good for me. I can shield this up and hopefully make it to 3 drill runs before they make it to the next charge move, but I'm just not sure if we're going to get there in time. They let the first one go through though. That's massive, that does huge damage, but unfortunately we're not able to Mud Shot farm them down. They do make it to Play Rough number 2, taking out the Excadrill, and we do unfortunately lose that game. But GG to that opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Noctowl in the lead, so I haven't seen Noctowl for quite a while. The opponent save swaps into Quagsire. I was a bit scared there just because if they're running Aqua Tail, they would be able to make it to the move before we get to our drill run, but either they're not running it or they just didn't throw it, and they go for a Stone Edge here. That does quite a lot of damage, but it is neutral because we are part fighting. We go for a Flying Press just to make sure they don't make it to another charge move and force a shield, but now they can come in with the Noctowl, go for a massive Wing Attack farm down. This Flying Press is going to do quite a lot of damage here, but we still have to go for a Rock Slide anyways. There's no way we can farm down with either Pokemon as they do double resist both the Mud Shot damage and the Shadow Claw damage, and they do throw just before we make it to a charge move. Very good timing by the opponent. They full send the Shadow Ball there, which is quite good for us because that does cost a little bit more energy than the Sky Attack. We go for Rock Slide, grabbing a shield from the opponent, and they make it to another charge move here. So we're going to double shield the Excadrill. They go for the Shadow Ball, and we're going to overfarm in this matchup. I'm actually not quite sure how much energy they've got. I haven't been keeping track. So Rock Slide takes out the Noctowl, and they've got a Swampert in the back. We're going straight for the drill run here, and then we will have to swap into our Sableye. Otherwise, they're probably going to be able to farm us down. So we swap into the Sableye, and they're probably going to go for an Earthquake here. If they go for back-to-back Hydro Cannons, we lose, but they go for the Earthquake, and we do barely live that with our Sableye. We make it to the Foul Play. Foul Play does big damage, and we're able to Shadow Claw, farm them down with the Sableye, and I'm able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.